Hello, everyone. My name is Oksana. It's Road to Edoverse Weekly Edoverse Insider, the 57th. We deliver the news about the creation of our project Edoverse. And Tokugawa-san, could you please start the session for today?
Okay, thank you, Oksana. Hello, everybody. This is Iehiro Tokugawa. So, well, I am basically for the last 4 sessions, I've been talking about life of commoners, chonin, in Edo. And then this relates to the topic, so I may go back to the same topic next week, but this is about schools for the non-samurai population. And you see, Tokugawa, Japan was a very a society with a very high literacy rate. This is quite amazing because you would imagine a feudal or a pre-modern society, many of the rulers would hesitate to educate their subjects. You see, the idea being that, well, if you keep people ignorant, then it is easier to control them. Think of the antebellum South in the United States, where the slave population were given the were given minimum education, or in medieval Europe. They went to church, but I think most of the peasants could neither read nor write. They just had to listen to the preachers, to the priests preaching. Now, but you see, Tokugawa Japan should actually be called post-Toyotomi Japan. The authorities were always afraid of someone talented trying to promote himself and in the process destroying the system. So education meant a lot, as you can spot talented people this way. First amongst the samurai population and later even amongst commoners. So education was encouraged, especially after the Tokugawa system was more or less in place, roughly 120 years after Sekigahara. So there, the 8th shogun, Tokugawa Yoshimune, actively promoted the establishment of schools belonging to temples, hence the name Terakoya. Now, the Terakoya were genuinely private, and you could trace them back all the way to the 8th century or something in Japan. So, but there were very few and far between. But from the mid-Tokugawa times, they started to grow, and towards the end of Tokugawa times, you would have like 100, 200 new Terakoya per year. So, and the original, the first major increase in Terakoya started in the early 18th century. And this was done because the 8th shogun Tokugawa Yoshimune and his administration wanted people to understand what the government was demanding of them. So they wanted people to understand rules and laws so that, for one thing, private social life or economic life would go more smoothly, and also for people to act with according to certain moral codes. But interestingly, the actual laws were practically kept secret. Only 3 officials in the entire city of Edo, which had a non-samurai population, 500,000, okay, knew what the laws were in their letters. So instead, the Bakufu, the shogunate, tried to guide people into act well, so that they did not have to run into trouble with the authorities. And so in the Terakoya, these very primitive schools, a large part of the education was about the, embodying the moral code, which is half Confucian and half Buddhist. And the children, and another interesting fact is that both boys and girls went to these primitive schools. Now, so a commoner child would, and also about the teachers. So originally, they were mostly Buddhist priests, or in some cases, priests in the jinja. But with the increase of population and also of, the increase in the subjects to be educated, unemployed samurai were put to task. So this is the Ronin population. So at about age 7, children would join the school, and one class would be about 20 to 30 people. Sometimes in big schools, they would have like 100 children studying in one classroom. Yes, and then there were tiny ones with 2 or 3 pupils. So it was more like a tutorial. Now, you see, the room is there and the desk belonged to the school, but the paper and the brush for calligraphy, the child has to bring. And the tuition was very low. And then there are some donations from the local community as well. But basically, the sensei was happy to teach for the sake of honor more than to improve his lot improve his economic fortunes. If he wanted to do that, then he shouldn't be in the field of education, went the theory. And it was pretty well followed in the end. And then what were boys being taught? Yes. So obey your sensei, obey your parents, and behave well. And be friendly with your classmates. And do not bring food. This is interesting. They're children, so they would start eating in the middle of study time. And do not bring money. This is in order to avoid these kids buying stuff or going to play right after school. And do not raise your voice and do not do mischief. This is completely useless, but these were the instructions anyhow. And what were taught to the girls: do not discuss who is pretty and who is ugly, or whose clothes is nice and whose is not, or who is rich and who is poor. And do not gossip and do not laugh out loud. And yes, so, it's really girl stuff. All of this was forbidden, and of course, no one listened 100%. But this way, proper behavior in a city environment was being instructed. And then in more as the years advance, children would start learning Chinese classics. But this was just reading out loud the text, and they never went into interpreting it. So that is why the Japanese know so many words and phrases and sayings from all the Confucian classics without having ever read those books in full. So that tradition started in the tenements of Edo City. Okay, and so that was the terakoya, and this is what kept the literacy rate in Tokugawa Japan much higher than their equivalents in Europe. So it was close to 50% by the end of Tokugawa times, and this is also what helped enormously our Westernization. We could Westernize so quickly because Tokugawa Japan was already a pretty much modern society. Okay, so that should be enough for this week, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tokugawa-san. And JJ, could you please join our session? Hello?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Hi, I'm here. So today I'd like to update something about gaming space. So first of all, I hope all of you guys already enjoy, the ukiyo-e space, and maybe you can enjoy buying kind of NFTs. And I think within 1 month or 2 months, there's new, kind of battle game is going to be implemented on ukiyo-e space. So of course it's like a independent project from Edoverse itself, but it's related to each other. So I hope in the future this ukiyo-e museum and also battle game is going to be connected to the Edoverse main space, so that the users or visitors coming to Edoverse space can easily enjoy this ukiyo-e museum space and also battle game space. And this battle game space is going to be more fantastic and interesting because we are thinking of new gaming rule and regulations. So for example, like small wrestler can fight to another small wrestlers, and then some of the user can bet some zeni or tokens, so that the winner can get new zeni as a kind of I wouldn't say like it's gambling, but it's a kind of betting system. And then if the holders of small wrestler want to make this character more stronger, then they need to put this small wrestler to, for example, Koniki-san space or like daimyo yashiki space, so that daimyo yashiki guys can get zeni from the owner. So anyone can be happy in this ecosystem. This is described by our team currently. And the other update is maybe some of you guys already noticed that Fortnite is just open for kind of third-party developers or third-party gaming creator. And then some of guys already get more than 100 million, 1.5 million or something. So this is a new style, and this is new era, definitely. So it means like gaming planner or gaming creator is gonna be rich in gaming space and metaverse space. So it's like a YouTuber. So currently YouTuber gets a lot of money if they have a lot of followers. So it means like new gaming system, gaming creator or gaming producer, or like even gaming player, like esports, can be much richer as long as they keep playing this, gaming space. So Fortnite is going to be open for third party, and also Roblox is also, planning to open for the third party developers. So many of the players and many of the developers and many of the, I think, huge IPs in gaming space are coming to, GameFi space. So definitely this is our, near future. So we always look at, this kind of trend and what's coming next. And then Edoverse always follow up with this, move and wave. So just stay tuned for our development. And then I think around the end of June, we can disclose and show the new alpha version of Edoverse. This is amazing. Yeah, that's enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, JJ. Great news. And Mitsushi, could you please join us? Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. Recently, NTT Data Group, as a kind of consulting firm, NTT Data Group announced the result of survey, which was very interesting, that 91% of companies fail to launch metaverse business. That's the result of NTT consulting data firm. But the interesting point is, among those who answered the survey, only 8% actually started the metaverse business. That means all the other companies did not even start the business, right? So the definition of a failure is very interesting. Like 91% of companies are failing metaverse business, but only 8% started actual business. That means vast majority of companies didn't even start the metaverse business. The cause and reason was that the companies didn't have human resources who have knowledge for metaverse, or they couldn't get internal approval. We call it ringi in Japanese. So many companies didn't even start the metaverse business, and that's the point. That means that there are only few companies that are actually start metaverse business, right? So my personal interpretation from that survey is that metaverse industry has not even started yet. We are at the just starting point. So the fact that we have fact that we have playable demo product means we have a lot of advantages in Japan right now, or even in the world right now. I think that's the take that I get from this survey. So I think, the result of survey is, for me, as a positive harbinger. Many companies didn't even start the metaverse business. Only few companies actually started metaverse business. That means we have product, which means that we have a lot of advantages. We are able to take the first mover's position when we can correctly advertise and promote the projects, and when we get a customer base and so on. So it's always great to start earlier and spare a lot of resources to get a position and share. I think that's the strategy that Dominic-san took has been very successful. That's my personal interpretation from that controversial survey. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share today in this session. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mitsushi. And Martin, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Yes, it's excellent just to hear again talk about the Roblox and Fortnite open source decision. I think that proves that we are, ahead of the trends, leading the trends there. So definitely a very good indicator that we're pursuing a strong strategy. And very much looking forward to seeing it when it comes out at hopefully end of June. So fingers crossed for that.
Thank you. Will do.
And then just from, I always like to pick up on news topics. I think there's a couple of really positive bits of news today. Number one being that 2 million visitors came into Japan in the month of April. So tourism is definitely back on the rise. I mean, obviously some of those visitors are not tourists, they're business people and so on and so forth. But yeah, 2 million entries in the month of April. So that's great news. And the other great news is the Nikkei just hit 32,000, and that's a 33-year high. So obviously, American stock indexes are also doing very well, and Japan's kind of following that trend. But we can see a really, robust path to growth for the Japanese economy this year. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of ride that rising tide and make this business very, very successful. That's it from me this week.
Thank you very much, Martin. Very optimistic. And Shunta, hello, do you have some news for us?
Hello, everyone. GJ, as GJ mentions, the ukiyo-e art museum has opened. We expect updates to the space in the future, so please stay tuned. And also we have an announcement tomorrow at 13:30 in Japanese time. We will have the monthly insider session. So please looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Shunta. And Dominique, could you please sum up today's session?
Okay, thank you, Oksana, and thank you, Shunta. Now, the most important thing is that monthly insider in June will start very soon, actually. Yeah. So, so you will see everything about what we did over the month. Actually, we just made a blockchain expos, and we had a lot of activities. But under this facial activity that we had a lot of development activity. This was the most important thing. So the people working very hard now just in Edoverse. So we're just now connecting the 3D spaces created by the Sequin. It's just connecting to the tokenomics created by the own planets. And then other guys actually we are now considering that in this the space just with a money function. We have to just put all this gaming function in the futures there. And at the moment that we have a lot of discussions about games, but at the first game will be very simple and everyone can just enjoy. And also I hope that Edoverse, everyone from the older generation to the younger generation can just enjoy. So elder generation that actually only just coming into things that is a very simple game they play every day. That is our purpose, and then people can just enjoy Edoverse. And also younger is actually the battle game is also very exciting, and then people can just enjoy. So we need all the generation to coming into the Edoverse in the futures. And then we, of course, I hope that you saw ukiyo-e museum, only the first room, and then you can just buy the NFT very soon about ukiyo-e things. But also, and we have another 3 rooms to be opened very soon. We have 3 different rooms at the ukiyo-e museum. This is going to be very exciting too. And then we want to have some battle game just as a third party that we just creating some of the sort of very exciting game too, and then people can just get in touch with the Edoverse just to play the game in other platform but under the name of the Edoverse. So that's going to be very, very interesting. And then we have more actually events in the coming from summers. We're just doing some the Japan traveling to find Tokugawa Hidden Treasure project. This can be very, very exciting. And also we also a digital twin we haven't just PR yet, actually, but we already just made a contract with a company, and then we are now creating. Okay, we are just discussing to create, because it's going to take time, and it's going to take money too. We're going to just create a big amusement park in Edoverse in the futures. And from the first stage, we're going to put one simple game, exciting game, amusement game, one by one, and then you can just enjoy it in the futures. And also, we're actually now planning a lot of the individual projects, the gaming project, and also individual sort of event project in Edoverse in the future. It takes also very time. I think it's more than 2 years and 3 years to be completed. But you will see that project itself very soon, like horse racing, or like sort of the battle game like Break It Downs, and or also the amusement park. Actually, you can just play some kind of betting things too. So many projects just now now under development. And please just wait for a little while, but you will see one by one very soon. And also, I don't want you to be tired of Edoverse project. And then you just keep just watching things and then be excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dominique. And yes, tomorrow we're going to have a monthly Insider, so please join us online. And thank you everybody for listening. We'll meet next week. Goodbye.